Make this up.
Cannot see you.
I can't see you either. You can't make this up. Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. Let's see if I can get my co-host to see me. Do you see me now?
Yes. Yep.
God, this is such a broken software. Anyway, Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. It looks like the Broncos have just won the Super Bowl. It means that they're going to win 5 Super Bowls in a row now, minimum. We're talking about the winning the LA Chargers, who pulled starters out starting in the middle of the third quarter, if not sooner, anyway. So we're going to do 3 different videos. This is the first. It's going to talk about this Charger game, and then in the other videos we'll talk about the coach situation, and the last video is going to be the best podcast Broncos podcasters, winner takes all. So I guess this is the first video. So we'll talk about the Super Bowl versus the Chargers. What happened this time last year? Can you give me a recap on what exactly happened last year, this time last year?
Well, we won our last game. I mean, we won last game, and we went into the offseason with expectations and promises that weren't made for the 7th year in a row. And I can remember the year before that with Drew Lock. He goes off. He has a great game. Drew Lock had a good game. They looked good. And all the empty promises that were spewed for that point in time going on 6 years. So, yeah, I mean, woohoo, we beat the Chargers. We beat a Chargers team that is a sloppy team, that is happy to be there, that doesn't really, I mean, what fears you from the Chargers? I mean, I thought the Chargers defense would be better this year, and I was completely wrong about that. I mean, where's the push up the middle from Sheldon Joseph Day? You paid him all that money for what? For being on the sideline most of the time? So, again, another team that gets in their own way, just like all the other teams we face all year outside of the Raiders and the Rams.
Well, their backup was able to get a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. There, did he have a touchdown?
I didn't watch the end of the game and when he went in, because I had to deal with my job and the actual shit show that went on there today. So
anyway, we got a lot of spewing going on, as they always do, but we'll talk about that with our winner takes all. The same people who misguided you are once again promising the moon. With this victory, it gave them, I guess, hopium. I want to start talking about Justin Simmons right off the bat. If this guy didn't get 2 punch outs, this would have been the worst game of his career. He was getting turned around like a top constantly in this game. And the only thing that saved him was a couple punch outs, but they're frustrating to me because it took week 17 to get him to punch out a couple balls. 17 weeks. I don't want to hear about the lollipop interceptions with crap quarterbacks overthrowing wide open receivers to him. So that was very frustrating. We know we'll be stuck with him for another God knows how long until we get rid of this trust running the team. Russell Wilson did have some good explosive plays, but looking at the Chargers made the biggest mistake and I understand they most likely felt Russell Wilson was going to get sacked, as he always does. And they let up on Jerry Jeudy, which let him get open for the first big bomb that they threw. I don't see, again, this being sustainable into next year. But I'm got to talk about the game. When on their 23rd point that the Broncos scored, they played shadow ban mile high view football successfully. And the points after was against the Chargers, I think second and third string at that time. Some big plays, but I just get the sense watching this game that they don't want to really play the, run heavy, tight end heavy, light on Russell Wilson. I think that once Russell Wilson makes a couple throws successfully, they all of a sudden want to go into Shurmur slash Dove Valley ball. That means, run around like a chicken with your head cut, throwing the ball around. And what you're going to get is, well, see, it worked. Well, it didn't, because their 23rd point was basically doing what we've always said. I think they got lucky on some of those things, but I just don't see it as a sustainable model going forward into next year. I see more of the same next year too. Your thoughts?
I'm going to hit on your point with Justin Simmons real quick. I don't want to hear anybody in the comments section telling me how great of a player Justin Simmons is outside of this one game where he had 2 balls that he punched out. But let me just tell you something right here, right now. He's not a top 5 safety. He will never be a top 5 safety. He gets paid like a top 5 safety because of the man upstairs, John Elway. And I don't want to hear from anybody that this guy's an all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber type of player, when for how long this guy has been here, has looked like a backup at best when he's on the field. This guy absolutely sucks, okay? If you watch the film and you understand football and how safety play is played, you will understand where shadow band is coming from and Denver Broncos mile high view is coming from. This guy is a liability on that field. The Chargers know it, and they went away from it. The Chiefs know it. The Rams exposed it to the highest of highest power. I mean, my God, that was his worst game ever, in my personal opinion. The sheer fact that we're sitting up here in week 17. Well, mind you, guys, let me remind you, week 17 in 2023. Okay? It's 2023. And we're making excuses for players like Justin Simmons still. When I was growing up, I expected better from my players. I expected my players to be an impact on the field, not off the field, on the field. That is the Pat Bowlen Broncos, not this happy to be there, and we'll get into more stuff later. But this game identified the number one issue that I've been having with this team for 7 to 8 long years. They are not good enough to win on the field. Wow, we beat the Chargers that beat themselves. That a team in the Los Angeles Chargers, you know that we went 1-4 in our own division. 1-4. We could have possibly went 0 burger in our own division.
I think it was 1-5. I think it was 1-5.
Oh, 1-5. My apologies. 1-5.
1-5.
I remember the Broncos dominated the AFC West. And now we are the dog shit of the drizzling shits of the AFC West. This game didn't prove anything to me. You got Russell Wilson out there, who I've been saying ever since he's been traded to Denver, and so is this man right here, that you need to get the ball out quick. You need to be creative on how you use them. Because he isn't a traditional pocket passer, and he can't read the field. You have receivers You know, this man brought up a really good point when we were talking before this podcast. You know, Cortland Sutton threw his best block of the year.
Of the year.
Week 17. It took you that long. Week 17 to throw your best block of the year. Jerry Jeudy, your best game of your career came in your third year. Your third year, your best game of your career came in week 17 in 2023 in your third year as a player. When you have guys like Justin Jefferson doing it on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
I want consistency.
Who wanted Jefferson, by the way? Who was it? You said Jefferson, not Jeudy, right?
I wanted Justin Jefferson.
We're on record with this, right?
We are on record. Well, I wanted Tristan Wirfs and Rashawn Slater over.
Yeah, yes. But we said if you were going to get a receiver, you said
Justin Jefferson because he's a better
during that draft. And then Mark Schlereth comes out and said, "Who really thought Justin Jefferson? Oh,
Well, we'll get into that later.
The best Bronco podcasters were the ones. Go ahead.
You're absolutely correct.
But forget one thing. You rattled off the Chargers and the Rams. You forgot the Raiders also.
Oh, correct. The Raiders. Yep. My apologies on that.
Yeah.
You also have a guy in. Where's Draymond Jones? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where was Baron Browning?
Yeah. Oh, he got one sack. He did get one.
Oh, he got 5 sacks this year. And who were the people, the two people that were saying that, and even Vic Fangio, who was saying that Baron Browning is a middle linebacker instead of an outside linebacker?
Well, I want to address that.
God.
At the beginning of the season, didn't we hear that they didn't want to listen to people like Fangio, that the players were going to coach themselves and put themselves in the positions they wanted to be in? And they sold the people that all those other platforms sold that turd to the fan base.
Yeah.
And now they're calling for a coach all of a sudden.
We'll get
we're gonna get into what they said versus what we said. Can't wait till we do that.
Oh yeah, okay. So
but again, yes, he had one play this entire game. He was shut out. Wow. He was shut out, and I'm not sure if that's when they put in the second string offensive line. I'm not sure.
Well, we have to go back and double check our sources because that is what we do on this channel. We double and triple check our sources. We are the sources. Okay. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand this, but we'll get into that later. This game, you have, Josie Jewell is another example. Oh, had a great hit on a smaller running back in Austin Eckler. Gives up the touchdown 2 plays later because he sucks in coverage. You wish you had Baron Browning and Kenny Young in the middle there, don't you? Singleton the same way.
Yeah. That's over. That's well over. That's football over their head.
That is football 101 that people don't understand in today's NFL. Even the NFL doesn't get it anymore. I mean, let's just be real here. That's what we are. We're real. The NFL is a poor product. I'd rather watch college and high school football rather than this shit show on the NFL. You have guys. You had Derwin James out there making more consistent plays than Justin Simmons. He saved a touchdown for the Raiders. I would never see Justin Simmons in my life make a play in that end zone that Derwin James did. And who was the man that wanted Derwin James?
You.
Oh, and who? We'll get into that later. But again, this game exemplified a team in the Broncos who faced a team that beat themselves, gave them every opportunity to have short fields, gave them every opportunity to have big plays, and gave them every opportunity to win this game, and the Broncos still almost lost this game. That's how bad.
No, they're definitely trying to hand this game to the Denver Broncos all the way.
Yep.
But you got two teams, Jacksonville and the Chargers, who are, like I said, the Broncos are really about 3 degrees of separation. Okay, right? The Broncos aren't even up to the. This is how I see the AFC. I think the Bills are the standalone team. I think this is the teams is going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. We were saying that back at, by the way, people, we said this going all the way back to the preseason. Okay. And even before, we said this is a team to look out for because the way they were building the team. And it isn't about bribing coaches to get here, get to the Bills. They did it the right way. I put the Chiefs and the Bengals in that they're playoff contenders, legitimate playoff contenders. Everybody else that's in the playoffs is definitely happy to be there. I don't see any of them sniffing the Super Bowl. The Jaguars and the Chargers. I could see the Broncos. Believe it or not, you can argue with me. I could see the Broncos stumbling their way into a last place wild card situation. And I just think that in 1 to 2 weeks, these happy to be there Jacksonville Jaguars and Chargers are going to be watching the game with the rest of the NFL that's not in there. So, if that's what we're clamoring for, the best you can do is get a happy to be there and call that a victory. It's gotten so bad at the end of this game. They're acting as if this was the Super Bowl. I mean, to me, this is the sign of a broken organization. It's a sign of a broken fan base. To me, the victory is troublesome. It's troublesome because you waited this long, and the team we played, they're shuffling their starters out. It's just frustrating. It's just really, really frustrating that this is what you're clamoring onto. You really think that this game excuses what we saw this season, or is going to make what we saw this season go away? You think that one weird game with a team that the Broncos are playing who's taking starters out is going to motivate coaches beyond, okay, you're already off the front, and we'll get into that later. But I'm talking about this game that, this game is very troublesome for me, that there was more effort at this game, week 17, than there was week 1. I don't get it. I just don't get what's going on at Death Valley, to be honest with you. Go ahead.
No, I completely agree with everything you said. I have nothing more to say about this game. It's another game where we're going to be filled with, we'll get into this. We're going to be filled by the fans, and I'm counting down the next, couple hours here. Just waiting for the bullshit to happen again, just like the past 7-8 years. So I'm good on this game. This game just is another one of those, oh man, we're going to go into the off season with momentum. We're going to get, we're going to go in the off season with momentum, guys. I'm telling you, we're going to go to the Super Bowl.
So did this win just basically create another little wellspring of Kool-Aid?
Yeah. Yep.
Just a little wellspring of Kool-Aid they can,
Yep.
dip into. Let me. Does anybody remember last year's win at all? No. Do you think anybody's going to remember this win at all next year?
Nobody's going to remember this season?
Oh, I think so. I listen to the way I see it. Do you think anybody will remember any of these players that are here right now?
Nope.
Any of the staff that's here right now? When the Broncos one day, when I'm buried and you're in a wheelchair and old, is relevant.
Yep.
I mean, really relevant, like the Bills are right now. I'm not talking about having to be there relevant. That's not even relevant. 1 week wonder relevant. Thanks for making a TV appearance. Next,
Yep.
I'm talking about real relevance.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, nobody remember any of this stuff. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I'm right there.
I just want to end with this. I don't want to hear from people saying, you're all negative. There's nothing to be positive about. We have 6 years of reasoning, about, it's not about negative. It's about realism. All right. And I'll let you get us out of this.
I don't want to hear from anybody. I don't want to hear the bullshit from you people. You guys are done. You guys had your little fucking Kool-Aid drinking party. I don't want to hear any. I do not want to hear from you people that, oh, we're always negative. You know, then you need to stop drinking the Kool-Aid and being too fucking positive. How about you? Can we actually? Why are you saying be real? Why are you here then? Why are you here? Because you want to troll? That's perfectly fine. I'm going to know when you're trolling. I don't really care about that. But if you're going to sit there and tell me, as a person and this guy who have been right from the very beginning, and you're going to tell us to stop being negative, then you need to stop being positive and actually hold that organization accountable, because we're going to get into this. We have video evidence after evidence after evidence after evidence of people just praising the freaking moon of this team. I don't want to hear from you people. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You're cut off. You're done. That's it for me.
Yeah. That's gone on. It's gone on too long.
Stop it.
Gone on way too long. Okay, so we're ending this this game. So the game that will be forgotten next year. Yeah. Justin Simmons. All right. We had our fun.